So I want to start by asking you a question. So technologies are evolving really quickly, and so how confident are you in your organizations, how equipped you are to innovate and succeed at scale? This is one so ponder that for a while. With these changes, there are more opportunities in the automation space than ever. When we started with RPA, that was great, and we could do amazing things that we couldn't do before. Now, with the advancement of AI, Gen AI, agents, autonomous agents, it's hard to imagine where it's going to go. But with all of these opportunities, there is also an incredible increase in challenges. We all need to think of how we're going to do it. So there are challenges in, I think, compliance for many of us. How are we going to deal with all of this? How are we going to manage it? We've got RPA scripted. It does what it's supposed to do. And if it doesn't, it stops. It doesn't come up with something new. But anyway, so we've got, so what we've got today, today's challenges is we're focusing on bot utilization. We're spending too much time on managing the bots. We're doing too much, we're focusing too much on cost saving and not value creation or driving change with our automations. And that's hard enough. Essentially, it's so hard that you're all here today because we've got a tool to manage it for you. Sorry, with you. Tomorrow's challenges, they'll be exponential. All these Gen AI autonomous agents, when they come, how do we manage it? How do we make sure they deliver what we want? And how do you combine them all together to drive innovation and transformation at scale? And that's where we come in. We can solve for a lot of it, but I think the saying is true. Technology is easy, people are difficult. People is hard. But technology is certainly making a stride to become as complicated and difficult to manage as people are, I think, in automation going forward. So if we zoom in a little bit on the trends that drive this, we tend to break them down in technology trends, vendor trends, and end user trends. The technology trend I've already mentioned, the big one is the explosion of AI, and that's explosion in AI. Vendors and solutions for hyper-specialized solutions very often, but it's just an explosion of opportunities, and they all need to be managed. So what C2 does, of course, is with our orchestration capabilities, you can really go for a best-of-breed composable architecture and combine it all together in end-to-end workflows without adding complexity. You'll still have to deal with all the human elements, the compliance, and so on. But we make sure it always works and delivers end value and focused on the outcomes. The other big trend in technology is the opposite. It's the RPA vendors, BPM and iPaaS of the world, who are consolidating. So or expanding, depending on how you see it. They want to build a Swiss Army knife for automation. They want to offer solutions within all of the different technology categories and say, this is what you need. Now, might make it easier to buy, but if it flies in the face of IT and automation strategy, in my view. We'll still help you maximize the performance of those solutions and orchestrate beyond RPA where necessary. But my clear recommendation is at least you should go for an IT strategy, IT automation strategy that fits your needs and not those of a vendor. The other technology part is how co-pilots are helping us be more efficient. I use ChatGPT multiple times every day. I actually just call it my friend, which annoys some of my colleagues, because it just gets 80% of the job done really quickly. Now, in my case, that means that I'm still spending 80% on the last 20, but it makes the personal efficiency gains for using Gen AI tools is immense. And that's going to have a huge impact on how we automate processes going forward. So John from Microsoft is going to show you some of it, but there are multiple ways. So Microsoft built solutions that build your automations for you, complete it. I still recommend some QA, but I'm not going to. But also in all our development, it's cutting the development time. I mean, we're certainly using it for building up and speeding up our own development in C2, but for all of the automations, it does that. It also, because these tools are great when complexity isn't too high, it really lends itself to a composable architecture. Solve for one little thing at a time, combine the components, and build full processes. Again, I'm not trying to talk down Microsoft, but that's where it is. And the funny thing is that what everyone is writing about, that Gen AI is going to replace RPA, in the short to medium term, it's actually going to drive an increase in RPA and agents as a task retrieving agents or task agents, so doing RPA type work. Does anyone want to object to that? Cool. And then on the buyer side, we also see a huge sort of push-pull effect. So from the organization, there's a huge pull to be allowed to use these tools. So ChatGPT and so on, but Power Automate is what we see the most in the market, probably because they're the biggest player. But every one of our customers we speak to, people in the organization have started using Power Automate. And now it's, how do you manage it? Someone needs to take control of this. So that's one trend. And then, you know, Microsoft and the likes also have access to the top, the C-level of managers and saying how awesome it is. And so they push it down on their centers of excellence as well. And then lots of centers of excellence want to use it themselves because they do really have a lot of potential. But that's also is real driving force in doing more with your automation, expanding the capabilities of a center of excellence to do more automations. So with all these trends, and I'm sure there's more, but these are the things we see really impacting how you run an automation estate and what you can do with it in the future. You really need an orchestration platform to be able to drive a cohesive strategy for innovation and transformation at scale. Wouldn't it be great if there was such a solution out there? As I said, we started C2 2018 to help organizations automate work. And we did it by, our goal was to create the best orchestration and management solution for automated processes. And our mission is for you to, or our goal for this is to make sure you not only keep pace with the changes, but you thrive with them, and even because of them. Our mission is to ensure that every technology in your stack works seamlessly together to deliver real business outcomes. So when we talk about where we are in our mission, why is it this and why is it that, we often get three questions from a range of what should I say, stakeholders, customers, prospects, the board, other investors, analysts. But it's why don't you automate? Why don't you add automation technologies in there? We've said from the start, we're not a Swiss Army knife. We're singularly focused on orchestrating automated processes. And we strong believer in a best of breed strategy, and that's also why. So they go hand in hand. We orchestrate so that you can use best of breed technologies, and our goal is to be best of breed technology. The other the other question we get asked, are you a BPM solution? And the answer is no, we're not. There's a space for BPM and there's space for intelligent orchestration platforms. BPM is set up to manage manual processes. They can do some of what we do. We're set up to orchestrate automated processes. And there's a big difference. They're mostly rules-based, we're mostly event-driven. They're people-centric, we're technology-centric. And we often work really well together. I think we've actually got quite a few customers here who do both and integrate them really well. Right, so when you're looking, I think I probably mentioned automation journey a couple of times. If not, hope it's on there, do it. So automation is a journey. We've all seen all of these. Where are you on your journey? Which technology should you use? How advanced is your center of excellence? And so on. We're focusing on delivering the capabilities you need for where you are on your automation journey. And beyond the sort of initial phase, you're trying to set it up, you've probably even grown it. And I think there's a big difference between growing something and scaling something. Scaling is doing it without adding as much input as output. So we set up the next phases or stages in maximizing performance. So take what you have and maximize it. Make sure it runs at maximum efficiency in terms of licenses. People, don't have people watching robots work. And getting value to the business, so SLA to the business. That's what matters in the end. That's how we help the business, and if the business doesn't do well, then we're not going to do well. The next one is to optimize and scale. And that's where you take what you've now got your operations. It's truly a center of excellence in an operating sense. And you look into, where do I improve this? Where can I see improvements? Where can I automate more? Where can I change this one automation with a more efficient automation? An RPA with a Power Automate flow or an API? Or where do I change an human in the loop step with controlled Gen AI functionality, agent, smart agent? And when can I replace that with an autonomous agent that just goes out there and does it for me? The last step is innovate and transform. And that's where end-to-end workflow orchestration, being able to bring all your agents, autonomous agents in with the right compliance needs and all of that, and having lifecycle management of all of your automations combined, see how they work together, see which, so if you're on the tech side, you can see all of the processes that your technology is touching and what's going to be impacted if it doesn't run. And on the process side, although you care about the outcomes, you can see which systems are in there, and you get and you scale. And with the advancement in Gen AI and AI in general, there'll be more and more automations and no processes that we can automate. So you now have to manage even more automations with using more technologies and with much more difficult compliance requirements. All we do is set up the orchestration so that it all works from an operational point of view. All the other stuff we're going to leave, all the difficult stuff we're going to leave with you guys. So we said we've got, I think I've touched on how automation is evolving faster than ever, but so are we. I started with a question, and I hope that by the end, not of this session, but by the end of the day, that you all feel more confident that you can, if you don't have the equipment you need, that you can get it and you can control it and manage it well. So with that, I think together, I mean, we wouldn't be where we are without you, and I hope that you wouldn't be where you are with your automations with us, without us. So I think I'll just say together, let's orchestrate for success. Thank you.